all there.
Yeah, thank you. I noticed a lot of people talking about the new technology is going to replace a lot of jobs, and people start to fear and worry. It is okay to worry, it is okay to fear, but do not worry too much and fear too much. And I never worry about the things the prime ministers worry about. I never worry about things the scientists worry about. I have enough headache, so I just worry about myself. To solve your own problem, think about your future, your business future, your career is probably more efficient. People worry about the future because of the lack of confidence and lack of the imagination for the future. I think that we don't have solution for tomorrow, but there is solution for tomorrow. You don't have this solution, somebody has. Trust our young people and trust the people. We got 7 billion people, they are smart enough. Our kids will be smart enough to solve all these problems. And the second thing is that in the past centuries, we make people like a machine. And in the future, especially today, we make machine like a people. But in the end, machine should be machine-like, people should people-like. And people should have confidence that we people have belief, we have religion, we have value, which machine does not have. And I don't believe the machine is going to take away man's job. And every technology revolution, the third technology revolution we had, the first technology revolution killed a lot of jobs, created even more jobs. Second technology revolution killed a lot of jobs and created more jobs. We are going to create more jobs. This is for sure. And you have to worry about yourself. Don't worry about the other part of the prime minister, president, they can't worry about it. The second thing is I believe that most people, they see it and then believe it. Very few people, they believe it and then they see it. These are the people called leaders. So if you want to be successful, you want to be a billionaire, you have to believe it. And then you will see the future. So I think in the next 30 years, by the way, I don't think next 50 years, we should account for next 30 years. We don't have 50 years, only 30s. Next 30 years, internet is going to be as important as electricity. Internet is more important than oil. So I think internet, the DT technology, the digital technology, or what you call the data technology, is going to be the solution to solve the problem of inclusiveness, sustainable, and happy and healthy. I think today the world economy is facing the challenge of inclusiveness, right? The whole world globalization is controlled by 60,000 big companies. Most of the small, medium-sized companies, young people, they don't have the chance. But internet may be the solution. DT is the solution. 80% of the business in next 30 years will be on the internet. 80% of the business will be global. Whether you're a small business or big business, you have to be a globalized business company. So I think the world does not only need a G20, we need a G200. The world does not need a B220, we need a B200. And in the future, there will be no e-commerce. It's called e-business. Every business will be in the future, will be no made in China, no made in America. There will be no made in Russia. It's made in internet. You might design here, manufacture, and sell there. So we have to think about. And people say manufacturing is going to make jobs. No, manufacturing is not going to create jobs. Manufacturing is going to be created by artificial intelligence, by machines. So service industry is going to make a lot of jobs. So these are the things that are going to happening, and I'm very optimistic. I think somebody will have the solution. The only thing I worry about is education. I agree with the Prime Minister. Education. We are okay. People sitting in this room, next 30 years, we are okay. But think about our kids. If we teach our kids the same way we taught in the last 100 years, our kids will have problems. So machine is going to be smarter than us, no matter what, right? You can never compete who's smart, just like you can never compete with a car who runs faster. Machine will be smarter. But if we teach our kids how to memorize, how to calculate faster, they are going to have no jobs. So how should we teach our kids?
Thank you.
We should teach the kids in a different way. And by the way, finally, to be successful, to teach our kids, we should teach our kids to learn the EQ, IQ, and LQ.
Thank you, Mr. Ma.
And
我不仅能全年365天，每天24小时不停歇为你提供服务，时刻陪在你身边，还能用无数个分身同时在。
If we look at something like, the future of AI in terms of jobs, you've already said that you think we're moving towards a jobless world.
So not all of us is going to be the types of jobs that can be done by a single purpose machine taught with a lot of training data on one objective function, which essentially says routine jobs. So jobs that have a low compassion factor and a low creativity factor are going to be at risk. So this could be as much as 40% of our jobs. And that's not millions, it's hundreds of millions. So it's big. But for the jobs that are creative, thoughtful, strategic, compassionate, and so on, those jobs are not only safe, but there will be more of those jobs. So some jobs will be created, and people will migrate towards that direction, especially in the compassionate job area, where I think elderly care, that's why I adamantly feel we really want people to do that, not only because it's the right thing to do as children, and that's what our parents would want, but also we need to preserve those jobs for people because as the repetitive routine job, such as a teller, a cashier, a customer service, a truck driver, assembly line worker, they lose their jobs. It's not going to be possible to train them to be scientists and professors, but it is possible to train them to be elderly care, at-home care, and so on. And one other thing is that AI will also create a lot of jobs. For example, when the internet began, none of us could predict 20 years later there would be 10 million Uber and DD drivers in the world. And that's a lot of jobs being created, but you can't predict what it's going to be. So our big challenge, our grand challenge is actually if 40% of people lose their jobs in 15 years, and let's say another...
15 years only?
Yes, I think that's about right. 15, 20, I think people and government factors can delay it to 25 years perhaps, but it's in that range. So in 15 to 25 years, if 40% of people lose their jobs, there will be another 40% jobs created, maybe even more, but those jobs will be higher skilled. So I think our challenge as a society is to retrain, figure out a way to effectively retrain so that people can become gainfully employed again.
Well, that's going to be a very, very big challenge because even though you say that it's these routine jobs and all of us think to ourselves, oh, no, I don't have a routine job. I mean, after all, even in the job that I'm doing now, sitting opposite you, China's Xinhua released a very fascinating clip in which they had an artificial intelligence developed newscaster read the news.
Oh, but your job is much more than that. We're having a fun interaction. You're not reading from a script.
No, precisely.
Yeah.
But in other words, even jobs that we think of that have an element of humanity in them, in other words, the face, the mimicking, the personality of the newscaster, which many people are attracted to, may actually be able to be replicated.
Yes, that is true.
So how do we know that we're not vulnerable and we ought to be quickly changing to another job?
Well, first think, are you being creative, thinking on your feet? And are decisions you make require thoughtful work, analytical work? If it is, then AI probably can't do it. AI is more for the repetitive. The newscasters who only read what's on the teleprompter are really just moving their lips. And that is a routine job, even though they may be glamorous and highly paid, but they will be replaceable. Yeah. Also, I think for blue-collar jobs, the replacement won't be that fast. The jobs that require minimal dexterity, like picking items, is fairly easy. The things that require, making an iPhone, that's actually quite hard. So even for blue-collar jobs, I think one could put a spectrum. Plumber will be safe for many years. Auto mechanic, not so safe. Assembly line worker making an iPhone, okay. But assembly line worker folding clothes and doing quality inspection, no. So I think we need to
differentiate.